Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, everyone. A lovely morning here in California. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you for sticking with us, even though we had that 24-hour delay. I do appreciate it. This one will be available for replay, so you can go back and watch this one later if you are interested in. Let me know where you're coming from in the chat. I also want to see some steaks. Not seeing a lot of ribeyes today, and I'm really upset about it because I'm kind of hungry, and I'm not seeing them in the chat. So drop me a steak. Let me know where you're calling from. Today we have a very, very special guest, good friend of mine that I've had the pleasure of meeting in person, which you don't always get that pleasure. Matthew Shields. He is a very gifted and talented agency owner, as you guys could see from his bio. He has some crazy things going on for him, and I know that he's looking forward to coming and sharing with you. We got some people from Northern California, Luton, Pakistan, Toronto. Shout out to the glitches. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Let's see some stakes in the chat. See if you're ready for this. I want you to turn your phone on airplane mode. Unless you're using it to watch this, then that would turn the stream off. So don't do that. But I want you guys to pay attention. I want you guys to pull out a little notebook. We got Australia, Netherlands. Love it. All right. Awesome, guys. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Matt to the stage so that he can give an intro of himself. My man, how are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me, brother. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you. We got some excited people here. We got Italy, Australia, USA.
What are the stakes? What are these stakes you're talking about? What does that mean?
That's our national emblem, if
National
you will.
emblem. Okay. It's not the glitch, the alien icon.
So that's both. So that's capital clubs, but us agency folk, we like a good steak, you know.
Cool. I like it. I dig it.
All right, my man. Let people know how did you get started in this? Let's hear a little bit of your origin story.
Yeah, so I have a little bit of it in the presentation, but I'll try to keep a long story short. I left high school after 9th grade. I absolutely hated it. I was like the worst kid in school. I remember in my 8th grade year, me and one of my buddies, we were competing who could get more detentions in the year, me or him. And I won, which is not something you want to win. So
Great job. Excellent.
it's my proudest accomplishment to this day. But I was really just a troubled kid. You know, I was a troublemaker because I was troubled. I had really low self-esteem. I had a ton of just different personal issues I was going through. I didn't really believe in myself. I didn't see a way out of it. That was the worst part. It's like I didn't have hope. I didn't have vision. I didn't have some pathway. I was like, man, this is going to be the thing that changes it all for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through basically 3 years of just darkness, like sadness, being alone, low self-esteem, all that for 3 years straight. And eventually I found online business and I just fell in love because I was thinking about this the other day, dude. The reason I love business so much is because money is really just a form of security. And I was really insecure. So I would latch on to whatever form of security I could find, whether it was friends that gave me security, whether it was drugs, whatever I could find that gave me security, I was latching onto it. And money was the first really positive form of security that I could direct my attention to. And so I just fell in love with business at the age of 17. I started my first agency. I've gone on to build, we're on number 9 right now. So we're building our 9th agency. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that in a second, how we've done all that. But yeah, man, I dropped out in 9th grade. I have a 9th grade education. I was an absolute goofball. No reason I should have achieved anything that we've achieved so far. And hopefully that can be valuable to the people who are watching too, who might be in a worse spot or maybe even in a better spot. And they're like, man, if this goofball could do it, I can do it too.
Anything's possible.
100%. 100%.
I love that, man. Yeah, I mean, it's always good to hear people's stories of how they started off because I think, and I mean, in one way or another, we were all kind of, I feel like I said this in my stories the other day. I feel like everyone that's successful is kind of weird somehow. Like the people that are successful were never the popular kids. You know, like all the popular kids in my school are all like have kind of relatively pathetic and haven't really accomplished anything in their life right now. But then all the people that were like weird, it's just like, oh wow, that guy's doing that. That's crazy, you know.
Weirdos win.
Weirdos
win. I'm
do
such
win, bro.
a big believer. Weirdos win. If you want to win, you have to be different. You should lean into the fact that you are different. That is the thing that will
100%.
enable you to win. So I'm glad you mentioned that, dude. It's such a good point.
Yeah, 100%. But today we're going to be talking about a pretty cool topic. Um,
Yeah.
it's one we haven't talked about yet in the community. Ironically enough, even though we have like 60 of these,
Mm,
is customer churn experience, what it actually means, and how to get it under control. Because it really is one of those important things to address. Because you can get every single customer on the planet, right? Like you can sign 200 clients, but if you don't keep them, if they don't have a good experience, if if they don't like you, whatever it is, then you're never going to grow your agency, right? Like eventually
mm.
you're going to plateau because you're going to be losing people at the same rate that you're getting people. Um, so if you guys are okay with it, let's see a steak or an alien in the chat. If you guys are okay with talking about customer churn and experience, we are going to do that today.
Sick.
Once again, we'll keep it interactive. If you guys have any questions along the way that are relative to what Matt's talking about, I'll interrupt him a little bit and have him go a little bit more into detail into something. But other than that, Matt, we'll just get it cracking and leave it
Let's
to you.
roll. Let's roll. And we can do Q&A at the end as well. So
Perfect.
we can do a whole session on all of that. I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if you can see that, Zach.
Yes, sir. You are on the screen.
Sick. Let's roll. Okay, cool. So, guys, here's how we scaled our SMMA to $425,000 per month. And everything Zach was just talking about literally is like almost some of the exact words I used in this slide. So, we're going to talk about keeping clients, actually building a legitimate business. And we're also going to go deeper into that, though. We're going to talk about a model shift that you should make if you really want to achieve that. So, we did this using the new hybrid AI model, which is different. Now, the reason I've built my business this way is because Alex Ramosi actually told me to. He actually told me to. He told me that he hates the agency business model. Straight up, we were on a Zoom call, my business partner and I, with Alex and one of his guys. We were talking about our agency and how we loved it so much. And he goes, "Yeah, I hate the agency business model." And I was like, "What?" The king of agencies hates the agency business model, right? Now I'm going to share with you why that is and what you can do about it. Real quick, who the heck am I? I already gave you guys a little bit of a story, so I'll keep it pretty quick. I built 8 agencies in a row to prove it's not luck. Some of you guys may have seen this video. In fact, if you have, drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever seen this YouTube video. Make me feel a little bit better about myself. But I've posted videos like this talking about building agencies. I talk about it on YouTube all the time. I've worked with over 1,200 clients in basically every niche you can imagine. You name the niche, I've probably ran ads for clients in that niche. I just exited my agency actually to a board position. This happened last week, Zach. Pretty big news for us.
Yeah, he let me know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
sick.
Yeah, exciting stuff. So we exited our agency to a board position now. We're currently doing about 450K a month. We have 45 team members, so it's a legitimate actual business. This is actually us in Costa Rica, not the whole team, but some of our team. We rented out the compound that used to belong to the Volkswagen family, and we had
Oh,
our
sick.
whole team come in. We had like a soccer field, and it was sick. It was insane. And so I show you all that because this is a legitimate company, right? It's not like your 10K a month SMMA guru who's just making all his money peddling a course. We actually built a real actual agency. And now my last weird flex for you guys. This happened last week, but I will share this flex. We did $63,000 in cash collected in a 36-hour period last Thursday. So literally
Wild.
just like a few days ago, we did 63,000 in cash collected in a day and a half. So that's a record for us. Now, the coolest part about that, though, is that I only worked like 2 hours. So not only are we achieving this success, but I'm also able to spend my time making presentations like this for you guys, making YouTube videos, and doing the things that I actually want to do, doing the things that I'm actually passionate about because we've been able to automate the agency. Now, let's get back to Hermosi. Why does Hermosi hate SMMA? Why does he hate it? That makes me sad. Well, it's because agencies provide leads, and leads are a commodity. And it's very, very hard to build a great business on the backbone of a commoditized service. It is very difficult to do. And if you want to scale an agency, you really need one thing. If you want to build a successful startup and a successful business, you really need to do one thing. Does anybody know who this is? If you know who this is, I know it says CMO of Facebook. I gave it away there, but if you know his name, drop it in the chat. I want to see if anybody has seen this video. It's one of the best videos on YouTube. This guy is Alex Schultz, not to be confused with Andrew Schultz. Alex Schultz was the CMO of Facebook, and he actually is the CMO of Facebook. He's the guy who took it to multiple billions of users. And he did this talk at Stanford like over a decade ago. And he asked the Stanford Business School students, what is the most important thing in growing a startup? What is the most important thing you should focus on? And I mean, it's in his title, right? He's CMO. Of course, he's going to say marketing, right? But no, retention. He said retention is the most important thing in growing a startup. It is the most important factor in growing a business. And it's the most important thing in growing an agency. Retention. Anybody can close clients, as Zach literally took the words from my mouth. Anybody can close clients, but very few can actually keep them. And that's because just providing leads is not enough anymore. You can't keep clients just providing leads. So here's the sauce for today. We're going to talk about why SMMA is actually dead. Sorry, Ty. We're going to talk about the new model that is taking over. And we're going to talk about 3 bonus secrets to client retention that you can implement in your agency right after this call.
Oof, that sounds good. Take notes,
That
guys.
sounds good.
Get those
Drop a
notepads out.
one. Let's roll. Cool. Drop a fat steak in the chat if that sounds good.
Let's see a ribeye.
Let's see a rib. All right, cool. And then we'll do some Q&A because I actually want to like talk to you guys, interact with you guys, and make sure this is valuable for you as well. So, Zach, that all sound good?
Sounds great.
Let's roll. So the old SMMA model that I firmly believe is dead, this is the model that I started off with. You basically do this. You run some sort of ad, you send some sort of cold DM, cold email, cold message, something like that. You get a client to hop on a sales call with you. You promise them the world. You sell the heck out of them. You close the deal. And then you give them some leads. You run some Facebook ads, you give them some lead forward leads, and the client inevitably cancels and hates your guts and probably asks for a refund and says, this was terrible. I wish I never gave you my money. That's the old SMMA model. And that is truthfully what 99% of the people I know are doing. They're doing this. And this is exactly how it ends. Pissed off clients that cancel. Now, why do clients cancel? Why does that happen? It's because they can't convert the leads. The leads are fine. I don't know clients that cancel because they didn't get enough leads or because leads didn't come through. That's very, very rare that happens. Usually they get plenty of leads, but they never convert them. They never are able to turn the leads into actual closed deals. So if you, as an agency owner, as somebody listening to this right now, if you can get clients to actually convert the leads, you can get rich. Now, let's keep pulling back the curtains because as Luke Belmar said, I know we're capital clubbing it up today. He says the most important question you can ask is why. So why can't clients convert the leads? Why don't they stay? Well, they can't convert the leads. Why can't they convert the leads? Let's keep asking why. Why can't they convert the leads? It's number one, they have terrible lead nurture. They don't have enough touch points across a long enough time horizon to actually convert the lead into a deal because fun fact, in any given market, only 2 to 3% of the market is actually ready to buy at any given time. So usually you're only going to have like 2 to 10% of the leads you even generate that are actually convertible at that given time. So if we want to make our clients money, we have to nurture leads across a longer span of time to find those leads when they are in that 2 to 3% that is ready to buy. So the first reason clients don't close leads is they have terrible lead nurture. They suck at actually nurturing the leads. Then the second thing, the clients can't sell for crap. You ever get a client a lead for my agency owners in the house? You ever get a client a lead and
All
you
your
know
leads
it's
are
a good
terrible.
lead and it's like they were ready to close. They were a good one. You knew you would have closed the lead and then they completely fumble it and they don't close it. And then they come back to you and what do?
All your leads are terrible. You guys suck.
Your leads suck. They blame you. They put all the blame on you. They put all the fault on you because they aren't good at sales. Most realtors, most gyms, most dentists, most chiropractors. Bro, you ever met a dentist who can close? They can't sell. So these are the 2 problems we have to solve if we really want to win in this game. So what can you do about it as an agency owner? Well, first, we have to throw the old model out the window. It's done. We have to admit and accept that's done. All right. Old SMMA is dead. The new hybrid AI model is what we've done to be able to scale so quickly and also get a ton of client results that I'll show you in a second. We're still doing the same first 3 steps. We're still running the promotion to get them on the sales calls, and we're still delivering them leads. Those 3 things don't change. But after we generate the lead, we help them nurture the leads with AI. And I'll show you the exact software we use. It's not high level. It's a software that I haven't heard anybody talk about. I'll show you exactly what that software is in a second. And then we also have built client communities. Now, this is a little bit higher level. If you're not at like at least 20, 30 clients, I don't recommend going too deep into client communities, but we will talk about it briefly today. So you guys can have an idea of where you should be building your agency towards. So we use AI to help generate those leads into actual appointments, into actual closed deals, and to help nurture the leads. And then we create a community where we train our clients on how to become better at sales, how to become better business owners, how to have a better mindset, similar to agency domain, similar to Capital Club, right? And those 2 things have made our agency significantly different than every other agency in our niche. And this leads to clients actually loving you and being glad that they bought your service. It leads to things like this. Oh yeah, almost forgot why I put this cake on the screen. I was like, earlier. I was like, why'd I put a blunt cake on the screen? So we had a client last year, Zach, named Connie Ward, who she hopped on a Zoom with me one time, and she said, "Matt, I love you guys. You guys have changed my life. You guys have changed my life. What SMMA do you know has changed a client's life? None." Because they're just delivering Facebook leads, and Facebook leads don't usually change lives.
Yeah.
But when you master this model, you can actually change people's lives. And I'm at the point now where I don't want to run a business unless the product is capable of changing people's lives. I'm not saying it's going to change everyone's life. I know it won't. Capital Club's not going to change everybody's life. It's going to change the lives for the people who are ready to put in the work. The right people will change their lives through Capital Club. The wrong people might not. It's the same thing for your service. So you're not going to have 100% win rate, but you should have the potential to change a client's life and for them to say they love you. I've had multiple clients literally say they love us, and not in a flirtatious way, okay? No FTC coming at me, all right? But clients actually love us. And the reason I put this cake on the screen is because Connie Ward loved us so much that she actually hand-delivered me a made-from-scratch bundt cake on Christmas Eve last year. She came to my house, she surprised me, and she brought me 2 baked-from-scratch cakes. And she hung out with me for like 2 hours and just talked. Would a client do that for you? Do you have a client that loves you so much that they would do that for you? They would show up to your doorstep on Christmas Eve with a baked from scratch cake. That's the power of this model. So let's break it down. Zach, this sounding good so far? This making sense?
It's sounding fantastic, my man. They're saying it's crazy sauce already, so
let's go. Cool.
We haven't even gotten started. That's just the intro, guys.
Yeah, I know. We're just getting cooked up. Okay. So you run a Facebook ad, right? This doesn't change for anybody in my gym niche. You guys can just kind of steal my Facebook ad right here. This is one of our clients, Angela. We had her for over 2 years before I ended up exiting that agency. We took her from like 80 members to 200 members in under a year. Completely crushed it for her. Made her one of the top pure bars in the entire franchise. So we could break down this ad. You know what? Let's do it. I think it'd be helpful to kind of break down the ad strategy. I wasn't planning on it, but it is a key part of this. So I'll give a quick rundown of how we like to run ads for clients. The first thing we do is we want to call out the audience. So this is Tacoma. That's a place in Washington. If you look up Pure Bar Tacoma, I probably shouldn't give out people's info like that, but that's the client.
Too late now. We're already here.
Don't send any ribeyes to their front door, please. So we call out the audience. We call out the location. Sometimes we'll also make it more specific. So we might say special offer for Tacoma ladies, because we only are running ads for women if it's a pure bar, right? It's like a bar yoga type studio. So we might say special offer for Tacoma ladies, right? So we want to get as specific in the audience call out as we possibly can. And then we just present the offer. And here's the thing that David Ogilvy says about ads that completely changed the way I think about marketing. A good offer is better than a great ad. The most successful agencies I know are the ones that run the best offers for their clients. If you can figure out how to create a no-brainer $100 million offer for your local business niche, whatever it is, whether it's gyms or dentists or realtors, if you can create an amazing offer in the ad, that will beat any advertisement you can make. A great offer beats a great ad. So figuring out how to give your clients a great offer and getting them to be comfortable with promoting it is one of the best things you can do from a marketing perspective. Now, after we present the offer to the leads, we just say, all you have to do is click sign up below to save yours. So we're calling out the audience, we're presenting the offer, and then we're just giving them a call to action. That's like the simple 3-step framework we've used for over 1,200 clients in basically every niche. And then we just give them some benefits of why they should do this. And then we end up adding in some scarcity, limited time offer. Pretty simple, right? Now, the creative is super huge. The reason this creative did so well is because it had a baby in it. People love babies. People love looking at their nieces and nephews on Facebook and saying, "Oh, look at my niece I haven't seen in 3 years and how she's grown up so much," right? So people just love babies, but it also they're wearing their merch, they're outside of their studio, and it's just a positive promotion of their brand. So this ad crushed. I think it got like 1,000 leads in like a year. We ran it forever. Absolutely crushed. So you can just kind of steal that framework. Now, back to the hybrid AI model, because this ad is cool, but this ad is not enough. If I had just ran this ad for them and said, hey, go close your leads, they wouldn't have done it. So what we do on top of that is we use something called a pointwise.io. A pointwise.io. And then we also use High Level. I'm assuming most of you guys are already using Go High Level, the CRM. It's a very good platform. I've been using it for 5 years. They're pretty sick, right? But we also incorporate into High Level the pointwise.io software. And what that software does is it's an AI lead nurturing software. And you basically create a template for your niche and for your offer. And then you come up with an entire AI strategy to nurture those leads and turn them into actual booked calls. Nobody else that I know is using this software or talking about it. So here's like an example of what this actually looks like. You get to put in all these details about the AI. You can give the objective, like what do you want the AI to do? Oh, I want to turn a Facebook lead into a booked appointment for a gym owner. Then you give it rules to follow, you give it a tone to follow, and you can even give it a resilience level. This is my personal favorite. You can make it like super aggressive, Grant Cardone level, like buy or they die, or you can go kind of passive, Mother Teresa. We're just if you want to take the offer, you can take it, right? So you get it.
Where's the happy medium that you guys found?
So I prefer to be a little bit more on the aggressive side personally, because to me it's better to turn off a lead than to not follow up aggressively enough and never get them.
Yeah.
But test it, play around with it. Your niche is going to have probably different levels. I would always recommend being a little bit above neutral though. So this is what the software looks like. This is kind of how it works and how you can use it. And then on top of that, after we have the pointwise.io lead nurture, we have coaching on the back end. This is Peter Michael. I want to show you guys how different our agency is than every other SMMA. This is going to be the clearest example I can give you on how we've really just done something different. Peter Michael used to run a marketing agency for real estate agents. Real estate agents is our niche, right? Like that's our current niche. We work with realtors. Peter Michael ran an agency for realtors and then talked to Alex Hermosi. Hermosi told him to just become a realtor instead. So Peter became a realtor, and then he built a business that's completely from Facebook and Instagram leads, completely online leads. He built a real estate business, scaled a team, and converts 90% of his deals from paid ads. So when it comes to closing digital leads for a real estate business, Peter Michael's about the most knowledgeable guy I can think of. So what did we do? We leveraged something called OPE, other people's expertise. We called up Peter and we said, dude, what would it take to get you as a coach for our agents so they can close more leads, so they can learn the system that you've created, so they can follow what you've proven already works? We call him up. He says, dude, give me like $250 an hour once a week. I'll do it. Boom, done. Now we have Peter Michael coaching our agents every week for the last 2 years straight, and we're paying him $1,000 a month, but we have like $150,000 to $200,000 in recurring revenue that he's coaching, right? So he's for $1,000 a month helping us retain like $200,000 a month. It's a no-brainer investment for us. So we have him as a coach training our agents. Here's how you call your leads. Here's how you follow up. He even has the agents come on live, Zach, and he says, call a lead right now. And we created this thing called the lead calling game show, where if you call a lead live and you book an appointment, you get a gift.
That's
and
hilarious.
You get awards. So it's just a completely different model, right? So that's the overview of the hybrid AI model. Now, I know some of y'all is wondering, do this actually work though? That's probably exactly what you're thinking in your head. So we have something called the Testimonial Wall at Estate AI, where we have all of our clients, like literally hundreds of success interviews. It takes a while to load, which is always a good sign. In fact, this whole page is like, you just have to scroll basically forever. But these are all of our wins. You can see people like Cecilia Ramos, a state AI lead, closed next Wednesday, walk through today. You can see Lori Seward. She's closed like over 20 deals, which with real estate, that's a crap ton of deals. She's been with us for over 2 years, an absolute beast. You can see Valentina signed a listing agreement for $850,000. All of these wins, right? This is all in our private Facebook group and in the community that we created, right? Now, the coolest win that I want to show you guys real quick is actually Marianne. The reason Marianne is the coolest win is because when I dropped out of 9th grade, my mom, Marianne, got really sad and said, "You shouldn't drop out. You should keep going to school." Now, over 5 years later, she became a client of Estate AI, and she turned $4,000 in ad spend into $60,000 in income, a 15x ROI using the exact system I just showed you guys.
Love it. Best testimonial ever.
Which is the best testimonial you could ever ask for, right? Like, if I'm gonna sell my mom on this system, like, then I clearly believe in it, right? So I don't know if you guys will be able to hear this. You don't really need to. You can go to YouTube. We have all of these on YouTube if you want, but you get the gist, right? Tons and tons of case studies and success. So yes, this actually does work. And I'll show you guys the inside of the group. If Zach, you think if that's cool, I'll show them actually like behind the scenes of the Facebook group if you guys want.
Yeah, let's do it. I think it's just showing your Canva presentation.
Okay. Oh, it didn't show you guys the testimonial wall.
No, we were just listening to you.
Oh, that's lame. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see what I can do here. Cool.
I did send the
Okay.
link in the chat though, so they can pull it up.
Do you see this now? Is that showing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, well, that's anticlimactic. Okay, cool. So you can see all of our wins, right? We have hundreds and hundreds of case study interviews, and these are all on our YouTube. You can see my own mom there being interviewed by me right after she closed a lead. Carly got a $1.4 million listing. We have people like Bobby Hall, who's on here somewhere, who built an entire team around this system. One of our own team members, Jake, is also a licensed realtor. He's closed multiple deals from this system. That's another cool thing you guys can do. Instead of hiring normal account managers, hire somebody who has industry experience in your niche and have them manage your clients, because they're going to speak the lingo and they're going to understand the problems. So when a client comes to us and says the leads suck, Jake says, "No, they don't. I've worked these leads. I've turned multiple leads into actual closed listings. I've closed $800,000 deals with the system." And that conviction keeps the client because Jake has that firsthand experience. So you guys can see, you get the gist. This actually works, right? Cool. Okay. Back to the presentation.
Or to the Facebook group you were going to.
Good point. Back to the Facebook group.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Okay. I don't know if I should show you guys the behind the scenes of this, but screw it.
But hey,
We'll do it. Here. I just exited the agency so I can do what I want now. You can see people like Chase. This is the cool thing about a community, man. Every time somebody gets a win, we have them post, and we do something called the agent lottery, where every time you post a win, you enter into the agent lottery, where we give away like a free year of Estate AI, paid vacations to Hawaii. We give away iPads. Like, we give away all kinds of gifts. We even give away ISAs. Like, hey, you can have a whole person if you win the agent lottery. So all of our clients post their wins in the Facebook group. You can see like Chase got a $2 million deal and he posts it. And then look at the engagement. Everybody's like, amazing. Lori says, "That's my boy." Right. So like now we have like our clients are friends with each other. They know each other. They talk on the phone, and it's just something completely different. Paul, $1.5 million listing. All of these go into the group. And so for the people who aren't getting the results they want, they're seeing all these other agents win, and it's inspiring them to put in the work every single day. It's inspiring them to go to the next level. It's making them say, okay, shoot, it's not the leads, it's me.
Right.
And that's what we tell our clients. Like, yo, bucko, it's not the leads, it is you. And when you have that conviction from all of your other clients, it really shows that. So that's a higher level thing. Once you have 30 clients, I think you can start doing that. If you're under 30 clients, I don't necessarily recommend it. but I did want to show it because I don't know anybody else who has really done that to the level we have. All right. So all of that sound good as far as the AI hybrid model, what we've done differently and why it's so effective. Any questions about that, Zach, that you or anybody is asking?
Nothing in the chat yet. So
Cool.
I do think it's fascinating though that how you guys have been able to, because I've seen people do that manually where they use like VAs and stuff, but using the AI, that's, I mean, obviously it's utilizing some new technology, so it makes the genius part of it, Zed, is that um it's using that trend as well. And people are like, oh,
Yes.
AI, I have no idea how to use that. That's fantastic. Instead of just being like,
Yes.
oh, hey, someone will nurture your leads for you.
100%. And so that's really how we sell it. Is like we sell, do you know ChatGPT, Mr. Client? Cool. It's the most powerful AI software in the world. We actually have integrated it with our system, blah, blah, blah. And so we hype it up and we sell it that way because that's what it is. It's GPT-4.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, what I'm trying to get the AppointWise guys to do is create a white label demo thing. So like you could create your own demo with your logo and your branding on their platform to go in
Yeah.
and just show clients straight up, like, look, a lead came in for roofing. Here's how the AI works and nurtures it. And you can just show them straight up the actual
So
AI
when
action.
so the lead comes through high level and
Yeah.
then it zaps into appointment wise
So it doesn't
or
even
appoint
use
wise.
Zapier. It doesn't even
Oh,
use
okay.
Zapier. That's one of the cool things about AppointWise is like it integrates directly with High Level. So you
Very
don't
cool.
even need Zap. But yeah, that's how it works, and we can talk about that later too. I want to give you guys some additional tips for client retention, some additional keys that we've learned after working with over 1,200 clients. The very first thing, tell your clients the truth. I've learned this the hard way because we've hired salespeople that did not tell our clients the truth.
Mm-hmm.
We've hired salespeople that oversold, and they over edified what we actually do, and it always comes back to bite you in the ass. That's how you piss off people.
Yeah.
Is you oversell. And again, like I'm telling you guys, like we learned that the hard way. Tell your clients the truth. I think you actually close more deals when you are radically honest with clients because human beings can sniff that out. When you tell your client, like, look, not every lead's going to close. There's going to be some bad leads that come through. But if you put in the work, if you listen to us, and if you leverage the AI and the technology we have, you will be able to make your return on investment from this system. And we
Yeah.
can create a successful partnership for years to come. But I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you, Mr. Client. And here's the line I like to use on these closing calls. Like, Zach, I would rather lose your business, but have been radically honest with you than earned your business by deceiving you. So I know this isn't the sexiest thing in the world, but this is the reality of the technology that we offer today. And anybody who's overselling you more and more of this and saying you're only going to get perfect leads and you're never going to not close a deal, they're just probably lying to you. So I would rather be radically honest and lose your business than deceive you and earn your business.
Yeah.
So when you say that line to clients, they're like, dang, okay, this guy's shooting me
Like, oh,
straight, and people buy from people they trust.
yeah.
So tell
It's
your
true.
clients the truth on the front end. Set expectations out the wazoo. This is something, honestly, this is probably the thing we do the best. I'm actually going to open this up for you guys now that I know how to change my screen. I'm going to show you the exact presentation that we have every single client go through. So every time we get a new client who comes into our agency, we have an entire, I think it's like 150 slides, 167 slides
Wow.
that they walk through of expectations of this is what it takes to win. This is how you succeed with the program. We show a ton of testimonials. Bobby got 19 deals in 3 months. He built a whole team. We show them all. We're continuing to increase their conviction because a lot of times when people lose conviction in the thing they bought, they stop giving it the energy that it requires for them to be successful with it. If you
And so this
lost,
is after they're already sold.
this is after they're already sold.
Wild.
Yeah. We're basically reselling them, but also setting expectations. Because if you join Capital Club or Agency Domain and then like a week in, you lost conviction in it, right? But you just joined, you're not even going to give it the work that it needs to win. But if you see all these other people in Agency Domain and Capital Club who are winning, who are successful, who've changed their lives, you're going to go all the more harder in your own life to make it work because you know it's possible. So it's one of the many things we do. We tell clients straight up, like, the X factor is you. Your goal with this call, we call it the success call, Your goal is to transfer ownership of the outcome of the partnership to the client. By the end of the call, the client should say, you know what? This system works. The program's proven. It's up to me on whether or not I succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, you've won this call, because now the X factor is no longer you and your leads, it's the client. We tell them there's going to be good months and bad months. We tell them this is not a get rich quick scheme. On average, our partners get their first deal from ads in 74 to 97 days. What this does is, in the first 2 weeks, when a client's like, I haven't closed a deal yet, the leads suck, we're like, yo, you remember the onboarding call, right? It takes 74 to 97 days to get your first deal anyway. You know, ads aren't a get rich quick scheme. We need data. Data allows us to run better ads. It takes time. You're building your pipeline. You're nurturing your seeds. So
Mm-hmm.
relax. We went over all this in the onboarding call. And they say, oh, you're right. You did tell me that,
Yeah.
because it doesn't catch them off guard. So that's why this call is so powerful. Just because I love Zach and I love people from San Diego, I'm going to send this in the chat. You guys can access
Ooh.
it. Let me just make sure the
There you go,
PDFs
guys.
are okay. Yeah, you guys can view. Yep. So all of you guys can access that now. Cool. Let me get back to the Prezi. Any questions about that specific call, that part?
No, it makes perfect sense. I mean, it definitely sets the tone. They're already sold, right? So, but it
Yeah.
just sets the tone for like, hey, this is what you're going to get. Do people ever get to that and they're like, man, you didn't tell me that on the sales call. I didn't know that I
Yes.
was going to get that leads in 74 days.
Yeah. So sometimes they do, and they're like, man, this isn't what I was expecting, or this is different. And that's why you really have to tell your clients the truth on the front end. But a lot of times, even if it's a little bit different, they see all of the case studies, they see all of the testimonials, and they're like, you know what, this thing works. Like, if this is what it takes to win, I'll do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen that much, but it does happen sometimes, to be fair. Cool. So set expectations out of the wazoo. Now the keys here, when you're doing this expectation call each lead in the first 5 minutes. You have to tell your clients that very directly and get their commitment. Zach, can you commit to calling each lead you get in the first 5 minutes, assuming it's during normal business hours and you're not on a meeting? Cool. Zach says, yeah, man, I can make, okay, sweet. Zach commits. Zach's committed now. He's going to call each lead in the first 5 minutes. Call each lead at least 8 times. So your clients still have to call the leads. I'm still very big on that. But your lead nurturing and your AI is going to help them convert more of those leads that don't answer the phones. So clients, you have to call each lead 8 times at least. Lead quality is a myth. You have an entire slide dedicated to lead quality is a myth. The clients who complain about lead quality usually just don't win. The clients who understand that it's a numbers game, and if they put in the work, they will get results, they win. Lead quality is a myth. We actually told this story of 2 clients we had in the same market and how one of them closed deals and the other complained about the lead quality. They were in the same market. They're getting the same leads. One of them crushed it. One of them complained. And we tell that story and we say, Mr. Client, which one are you going to be? Dude, now the clients are like, all right, I got to be a winner.
I
Winners
got to be
win.
the winner.
Winners win, losers lose. Winners win, losers lose. I'm pretty sure I first heard Luke actually, I think Luke was the first person I ever heard say that. We put that into our onboarding slides now too. Winners win, losers lose. That's the game. Recurring communication, simple, but incredibly important. You need to have recurring communication with your clients. There's this great book called Never Lose a Customer Again by Joey Coleman. If you haven't read this book, I highly recommend getting it. It's about how to never lose a customer again. And he says in this book, the number one reason that clients leave service providers is because they feel neglected after the sale is made.
Yeah.
The number one reason that a person leaves a service is because they feel like after they gave them the money, they left and they were neglected.
Sayonara.
Exactly. So over communicate. If you want to combat this effectively, over communicate. Ask your clients every single week. This is a challenge for you guys right now. If you have a client, text them, email them, call them right now and say, hey, Mr. Client, what can I do to support you this week? What can I do to support you this week? And continue to check in. The other thing I recommend is once a week coaching call. Now, you need to tell your clients that you are their coach. You're not their account manager. That frame shift is incredibly important, because now it's no longer, hey, I'm checking in to see how your leads are doing. It's, hey, I'm here to coach you on how to win with the system. And what you do on these coaching calls is you have them call leads in front of you. You role play calling leads. You go over their CRM. You check in on their mindset. You check in on their life. They're saying, hey, man, business is a reflection of yourself. So, Zach, how are you doing this week? How are things going? How are you feeling? How's the family, right? You're building relationships to where they can trust you and actually accept you as their coach. So it's a big thing we do differently, right? We are not account managers. We are coaches. And we tell our clients that on the onboarding call too. I'm going to be your coach. So completely different frame. Now they actually listen to you. They take your advice, and that allows you to retain them for longer. The other thing I recommend is a daily email. If you're under 10 clients, there's no reason you shouldn't be emailing all of your clients every single day with an update. Here's what we did today. Here's how the account's been changed. Here's what we're working on. Here's a lead that came through to your CRM. Here's how things are looking. And every single day you're over communicating to where they're like, man, these guys are on it. I don't feel neglected at all, because that neglect is the reason that clients leave.
Yeah.
So you can overcome that neglect with a daily email and a weekly coaching call. And then the other thing that is so crucial is a monthly gift. There's a great book by John Runland called Giftology. And it's all about how to give gifts that really speak to people's heart. And what I recommend is when you first get a client, send them a personalized gift via Amazon that gets to their house before your ads ever go live or before your service ever starts. If you can get a client an amazing gift that really speaks to them before your service ever starts, they're already going to be so much more inclined to work with you, to trust you, to want to make the partnership effective, because the law of reciprocity kicks in. You give them a gift, and now they feel like they owe you one. You've done something nice for them. So now if your ad account goes down in the first week, or if the first 2 leads suck, or if the communication gets lost somewhere, the client is more inclined to work with you because you've given them something and they feel like they owe you one. And what they owe you is nicer communication and more patience with you if you ever go wrong in your service delivery, right? If you ever mess up, they're going to remember that gift that you gave them, and that's going to allow them to work with you and be more patient with you.
And what are some of the best gifts that you guys send, or the ones that you like the most?
That's a great question. Okay, so I'll give you guys this nugget. You can use something called Cameo. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about Cameo. And find a sports player. We used to ask on our onboarding form, what's your favorite sports team? And then we would just have them pick 1 or 2 teams. Give us your 3 favorite sports teams. And then we would try to find one of the players from that team on Cameo, spend $100, $200. And then we send them a personalized video. Hey, Zach, it's Michael Jordan from the Bulls. Just wanted to say congrats on joining the Steady Eye, man. Great people over there. And I'm rooting for you. I'm really rooting for you to make this work. I'm really wishing for your success. And I'm excited to see you win inside the program. And just know MJ's got your back or whatever, right? You can't get Michael Jordan's cameo, but you can get, I got my dad a Jared Allen cameo. Jared Allen's a Hall of Fame defensive end who played for the Vikings. My dad watched Jared Allen his whole life. He absolutely loved the Vikings. Huge Jared Allen fan. Jared Allen retired the year after my dad retired, or actually the year before my dad retired. So my dad's going into retirement. He's going into this new stage. He doesn't know what to expect. I spent $300 on a Jared Allen cameo where he wished my dad well in retirement. And he said, hey, Ted, I'm rooting for you. In retirement, this is how I like to spend my time. I know you're going to have a ton of fun. I know it's going to be great for you. It actually brought my dad to tears. He was like, this is the best gift I've ever got, right? That's awesome. Guy that I've looked up to my entire life, a Hall of Fame NFL player, made a personalized video for me about my retirement. It was amazing, right? So I highly recommend Cameo personalized videos from somebody that the client looks up to and loves. And there's a lot of different ways you can find that. You can try to ask them their favorite shows, their favorite sports teams, all that good stuff. And then you find those people on Cameo and you get them personalized gifts. Now, yeah, that's a huge thing you can do. It does take a little bit longer to get those because it takes a week to be delivered. So what we do is we just do edible arrangements. If we if we don't have a specific gift for that person, we're going to do an edible arrangement with a handwritten card, which you can do on Amazon. And then we get them a book that's related to their niche. So one of our coaches is this guy, Barry Jenkins, who is a best-selling real estate author. We get all of our clients that book, and then we can also incorporate that with a chocolate edible arrangement or some fruit edible arrangement, and then a handwritten note. So now they have a handwritten note from the founder. They have the edible arrangement, something to eat and snack on, and then they have something permanent, which is a book that's actually going to help them in their business.
Yeah.
So that's like, dude, if you get all of your clients, if you get every single client that set of gifts when they first come in, it's just going to take your entire perception to a new level.
Absolutely.
So quick recap, and then we'll do some Q&A. Use appointwise.io. Tell clients the truth on the front end. Set strong expectations right out of the gate after they pay you money. Over communicate and make sure your clients do not feel neglected, and then send personalized gifts. If you use these 5 things and you really follow through, you don't even need the community. These 5 things alone will take you to a new level in your agency. So that's all we got for the presentation. I hope that was valuable. If you did get some value, drop me one more ribeye. It will be the last ribeye I asked for. I'm fasted right now, so I'm starving. So your ribeyes mean a lot to me. But yeah, if you got some value out of that, guys, I appreciate you hanging out, listening, and dropping ribeyes in the chat. Let's go.
Zed has a question for you. He said, what are some common mistakes that you would run into trying to execute this model?
That's a great question, Zed. Common mistakes that you would run into. Okay. With which part specifically? Because there's different mistakes you could run into at different parts. Is he able to clarify like what part specifically he might be worried about running
He asked
into?
this question after you introduced the AI software.
Okay, gotcha. I think the biggest mistake you could run into if you're using a Pointwise is overselling it and not clarifying that clients still need to call their leads, and also not training them how to use the AI. So make like one video that is go high level and it says like, hey, here's how to turn off your AI. Here's how to do X, Y, and Z thing. Here's how it works. To just continue to inform and educate the client on how to make the most of the software, because the system is only as valuable as the person using the system. So they need to know how to use it. That's I think the biggest thing you can do.
Yeah. And then I'm Lord something says, should I send my offer at first mail
What does
when leads
first
are
mail
coming in, I
mean?
believe, like on the first message or first email that you send the lead?
Should I send my offer in the first, like if you're nurturing a lead, should you say, hey, here's the offer you signed up for? Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So what I do now, I used to do that, Lord. Now what I do is, I'm not going to call you Lord, actually. I'm sorry. I can't do that. Just calling random dude Lord.
Maybe he
What,
is, he could be.
what we do now is we clarify the person's name. We say, hey, is this Zach? And we get the person's name, and then the AI can take their response. And if it says yes, then it automatically goes into the next message. And then the next message is, saw you signed up on Facebook for a free class at our gym. When would you like to book your free class? And then it can send a picture. And this is what I'm trying to get the Appointwise guys to create, is it actually sends a picture of the schedule for the week. And then the lead can just look at the image and say, oh, here's your available times. Here's the one that works best for me. They don't have that yet, but they should have it soon. So yeah, I
What if
do
you sent
confirm.
a calendar link? Is that
You
not
can do that
possible?
too. You can do links, but the conversion rates are so much lower if you
Mm,
do calendar links. So I'm trying to get these guys to, they said it's possible. They can replace the calendar link with an image, and then the client just says the time, and then the AI auto books them, which is
lovely.
like, yeah, insane. So that's how we do it now. Confirm the name, then present the offer.
Benjamin, hey Matt, what's the average reply rate from leads with this software?
What up, Ben? I feel like I might know which Benjamin that is. Good to see you, bro. What is the average reply rate? So I actually don't know the reply rate. We don't have the data tracking yet. Another thing that they're working on is getting analytics. But I believe they said to me it's like 50 to 70% or something. People respond. Which for us with real estate leads, that's pretty good. With gyms, you probably get higher.
True. What's the right way to do this model, and what mistakes should you avoid?
Okay. Zed coming back. Good question. Right way to do this model, do it ethically and honestly. Hire people on the front end who are aligned with this model on the back end. Again, learned that the hard way, hired salespeople who just wanted to sell the world and didn't actually care about understanding the technology. So much of your retention actually comes from the way you market and sell. That's the biggest lesson I've learned in the last 2 years. The way you are marketing yourself and the way you are selling your service contributes immensely to your retention on the back end. So make sure the front end is aligned with the back end.
Narayan says, if I want to start with the new hybrid AI model, how much does it cost?
Dude, just buy my 997 course and then you're good to go. No, I'm kidding, guys. No course, no community, everything's free. I think a point wise is like $97 for one account, and then it's like 200 or something, 300 for unlimited or something like that. So it's pretty freaking cheap. High level,
Oh,
obviously.
you guys got a good deal on them.
Huh?
I said you guys got a good deal on them.
Yeah, we did. I think it's still like 300, 400. I told them they should raise their price, but I think they have a different plan in mind. But high level is like 297, I think, unlimited. So you get high level for 297, you can have unlimited clients, and then you get a point wise for like 297 unlimited clients. And the other cool thing is this is going to increase your close rate on the front end because now you're selling something different. And Joel Kaplan said this at Agency Founders. He said, different is better than better. So what I'm thinking about as an agency owner is how can I do something that's different than my competitors in the marketplace? If I have legit AI on the front end that I can show to my clients, it's different. And clients will latch on to that different thing, and it's going to increase my close rates. So don't just look at them as back-end softwares. Look at high level and a point wise as softwares on the front end that can increase your conversion rate and allow you to make more money and leverage them in that way. Leverage them in your sales process.
Ocean says, how do you start getting great results for your chosen niche?
What up, Ocean? That's a sick name. How do you start getting great results for your chosen niche? What I recommend is going into Facebook groups and trying to find somebody who has a proven template in that niche for ads and all that stuff, and just saying like, hey, I'll pay you $500, I'll pay you $1,000. How much to see your system so I can use it? You can find a roofing template, you can find a gym template. I've had people reach out to me and say like, yo, I'll give you $1,000 to see your ad system for realtors. And I'm like, man, I'm not really worried about those guys as competitors. It's an extra $1,000. Maybe I'll do it. So find somebody who's already proven it for you, because good artists copy, great artists steal. So instead of stealing, you also can steal though. You can go and you can look up like gym agencies, go in these Facebook groups, try to find people who are running an agency in your niche, find the most successful one, and then you go to their website, you find their client testimonials. Then when you find their client testimonials, look up the client's name on Facebook, find the client's business page, then go to their page transparency, find their Facebook ad library. I know I'm giving you a lot of steps, but find their Facebook ad library and you can actually see the ads that client is running. So if you want to actually just straight up steal the best ads in your niche, go find the best agency, find their case studies, and then find their case studies Facebook page. And then you can find the ads they're actually running, and you can just take that template and use it, and then pay somebody for like a high level snapshot for your niche, basically.
Absolutely. I do that to Eddie all the time. I steal all his
100%.
offers.
You got to, bro.
Are you using this AI software for your lead generation as well?
Not yet, but I'm trying to, because that would make us so much freaking money. We're trying to build out an agency strategy. We haven't done it yet, but you definitely can convert more leads on your front end too. It's a good idea.
And are you guys generating all your leads through Facebook ads?
Facebook and
Or
Instagram.
where's Facebook and Instagram ads?
Yes, sir.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How much should you get involved with your client's business?
Ooh, that's a good question, man. Hermosi says you want your service to be like the client's entire business. So what we do now is we sell ISAs, we sell Facebook ads and Instagram ads, we sell the AI, we sell the CRM. It's like, man, if they left the state AI, they're like losing a part of their business.
Yeah.
So the more and more you can become a part of your client's business, the better. But in the beginning, I recommend like focus on solving one major problem really, really well. And then over time, add on solutions to more problems.
Paul has a good question. What is the biggest upset point for clients and how do you deal with it to make them more loyal to your brand?
That's a really good question, Paul. I'd say still it's clients not converting leads, you know? Like it's still like that's in an agency, that is always going to be the number one problem
Forever.
no matter what. Like even if you did ISAs and you close the clients for them, they'd still find a way to complain about the leads not being good. So that's still the number one complaint, especially with realtors. Um, what we do is basically everything I just showed you, like the client success call, the community with tons of case studies and wins that are always increasing conviction. We're just always putting ourselves in front of the client in a way that we're showing how effective the system is to where it's really hard for them to complain. Because we'll just say like, yo, look at Lori. Lori closed 14 deals last year with the system. Why do you think she's winning and you're not? We'll just straight up ask them, like, why are these other clients succeeding and you're not succeeding?
Mhm.
So that's what I recommend. The other thing you can do is get a power partner in your niche or get one of your clients to lead a weekly call. Get your most successful client to hop on and say, like, hey, here's how I'm winning with the system. And now all the other clients are going to be like, dang, okay, let's follow this guy. Let's listen to this person and see how they're succeeding. So that's another thing you
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah, like on that weekly coaching call, bring in like
Exactly.
success stories, and they're like, "Oh, sick! So it is possible."
Exactly.
I like it. Phil had a question. Hey, Matt, we're on the verge of acquiring our very first client. How should we price our service plus delivery ad spend per month? The niche is chiropractors.
Congrats, man. How should you price your service? So there's a book called Smart Pricing if you want to get really nerdy with it. What I recommend is just go find what other people are charging. And for your first client, charge like 50% less. So most people are probably charging like 1,500. I would charge like 750, build some momentum. I was talking to a mortgage agency about this a couple weeks ago. They just weren't closing clients and they were trying to sell these PIFs, these paid in fulls for 6 months. I'm like, guys, take the price down to 497. Let's get some momentum. Next thing you know, they closed like 2 deals within a 3-day business time frame. So charge a little bit less in the beginning to build momentum and to just make your offer a no-brainer. But eventually, you either want to be on the low end or the high end. You don't want to be in the middle because then you're just like everybody else. You either want to be the most expensive on the market or like the most affordable on the market. But in the
Mhm.
beginning, I would start on the lower end of that and then raise it up slowly.
How important do you think, like your advertising and offer is to bring in the right client?
It's so important, dude. It's so important. And I feel like it's something that we could have done much better, to be frank. Yeah, I think it's really important. Your marketing should reflect the clients you want to attract. It should reflect the offer accurately. And you have to ask, does my ideal client, are they going to resonate with this ad?
Mhm.
Is my ideal person, my ICP, my ideal customer persona, are they going to resonate with this ad? Or are they going to not resonate with it? And then I'm gonna have other non-ideal clients in my same niche resonate with it. That's why like we've had a lot of broke realtors come in and we're like, dude, we don't want the broke realtors responding to our marketing. That's a sign that we're not going luxurious enough. We're not going
Yeah.
high end enough. So I think it's really important.
And what's one of the ways that you solve that issue of going more luxurious?
Good question. I think who is in the ad is important. The actual face of the ad. It's hard for like me or my business partner Jared to be the face of the ad because we're both really young. We could do it. I could put on like a nice suit. I mean, I don't. I have people tell me I look 40, which is kind of sad. So I probably a limiting belief. I probably could be the face of the ads. I just need to like dress up in a suit. But for example, dude, I had my mom do an ad. She's a realtor, right? She has a license plate that says sells homes and a nice BMW. We put her in front of a nice house. We brought in the sells homes license plate, and then we had my mom dressed up with her name tag as a realtor. That ad has crushed for us because all the successful realtors are seeing my mom, who's already a successful realtor, and they're like, oh, this has got to be legit. So, one thing you can do is find somebody, like find one of your clients, or just even pay a dentist or a chiro or a gym owner that will speak to your niche and then have them deliver the script. Because people are going to be they're instantly going to trust them and they're going to say, oh, this has got to be legit. This is a real dentist. This is a real estate agent, et cetera, et cetera.
So Elijah here has a little bit of backstory.
Okay.
Um, Hey, Matt and Zach, my brother and I run an appointment setting agency for our clients. Our plan is to scale is so aligned with you today to actually educate roofers on how to build systems.
Yeah.
how to sell roofs, communities, coaching, etc. More like an info product, scale your roofing business course.
Boom.
That being said, how would you personally go about starting transition models once we get to 30 clients? Should we start the community first? How to sell coaching calls? What would you do?
Great question, dude. Good luck, Elijah. So what we did is we just we got to like 100 clients, and then we gave everybody access to the community for free. So we didn't
Oh,
upsell it.
and then he has another question. Would you go the extra mile for me to enter the roofing industry as a salesman to get the real world experience?
Woo. Well, if you or your brother don't know how to build a roofing company, you have two options. Get the real world experience, right? Which is what Hermosi told Peter to do. He said, yo, become a realtor, and then you're going to be able to wipe the floor on the
Mm-hmm.
market. And that's probably what Peter's going to do one day. He's going to destroy Estate AI because he's just going to wipe the floor with us with his 5 years of experience. So you could get the real world experience, or you could find somebody else who has it, and you could pay them to build out the course. You could pay them to run the community. I don't do any of the community calls. I only leverage OPE, other people's expertise. We have like 4 different coaches in the group every single week. I don't ever talk to the realtors. That also makes your company more sellable because now the clients aren't like really tied to you as the founder. Some,
Yeah.
of course, are, but most of them aren't. So hire somebody else who has the expertise or do the hard work, get the expertise yourself. Personally, I was not going to become a realtor to figure out how to sell real estate. I would have rather quit. So, yeah, that's my thoughts.
And then we'll do this for the last question since we're past the
Cool.
hour, guys. From Kai, how do you charge more for your service? And for specifically for him, it was for web design, but just
Web
in
design.
general.
Good question. How do you charge more for your services? The luxurious marketing on the front end is going to be important. The second thing is, like the non-sexy answer is get better at sales. I probably, if we were selling the same thing, Kai, my guess is I could sell it for more than you. And my guess is Hermosi could sell it for more than me because he's just a better closer, right? So one thing is just get better at sales and you'll be able to sell things for more expensive prices. Um, and then the other thing is add in something different, add in something unique. That's why I'm big on the AI right now. It's like clients want that. There's a ton of perceived value. We sell it as it's your 24/7 lead nurturing assistant. How much would it be worth? How much would you need to pay to get a 24/7 assistant to manage your leads, Mr. Client? Oh, I'd have to pay 30,000 a year. Cool. This is going to be even more effective because it's AI. It works 24/7 and you only have to pay us 6K for 6 months. Boom. So it's like add in something new, really get better at sales, and then make sure your marketing is in alignment with a luxurious, higher priced service. And you can charge better prices, higher prices.
Yeah. And I would say just ask. You
Hmm.
know, if you just ask for a higher price and they say no, then you give them a lower price. But if you ask for it, they could say yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the lessons that I learned from Eddie is they just ask for higher prices, right? Like we
Yeah.
have clients that are on the exact same service and they're paying us 10K, and another client that's doing the exact same thing. We're not doing anything different for them, and they're paying us 5K. And it's just because we asked them for more, and that's it.
That's a really good point. But actually, regarding this point-wise software, I showed one of my business partners it, and he was like, "Dude, it's too cheap." He's like, "It's too cheap. I don't even want it." He was like, "It's not expensive enough." And so sometimes you're actually not charging enough because you're selling this amazing thing, and then the
Hmm.
clients are like, "Well, if it's really that good, it's got to be at least this expensive." And then you hit them with a low price, and they're like, "Oh no, no way
Oh,
it's that good."
I don't want that.
So
No.
exactly. So I love that. Ask for more. It's a great idea.
All right,
Cool.
Matt, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much
100%.
for coming out today. The value you dropped was wild. Few people will actually understand. Are now I'll send the link out in the Discord so that you guys can have it. But thank you so much for coming, Matt. Appreciate your time. I know it's valuable. Thank you for the insights that you're bringing to the people today. One of the things, and I can ask you this question now. One of the things that I ask all the guests, I always ask 3 different questions to 3 different audiences. Well, it's the same question to 3 different audiences. Um, so the question is, what is your advice for people that are just starting off their agency? They're getting started from zero. They've never started an agency before. They're interested in it, and they want to start their agency. Second piece of advice is they're doing around 100K, 50 to 100K a month. What's your advice to that person? They're building out their teams, etc. And then the
Yeah.
last piece of advice is for people that want to exit their agency. So
Mm.
3 pieces of advice for 3 different audiences there.
Okay. Um, Let me try to keep it concise. If you want to start your agency, if you want to scale, the information is abundant. There is enough information. Information is not the thing holding you back. The thing that is holding you back is your own self.
Mhm.
So what you have to do, Friedrich Nietzsche said, the man who has a strong enough why can bear almost any how. You have to really dive deep into what your why is, because the how will take care of itself. The how is not stopping you from scaling an agency. The why. The reason you wake up, like this morning I woke up and I was like, man, I'm kind of tired. I don't want to do this. And then I remembered my why. It's to serve others. My why is in life is to free the world. Like, I have to wake my ass up today. If I don't, I'm not going to be able to help free the world. And that's my mission. So the how will take care of itself if you have a strong enough why. Um, so that's the first thing for those people. Throw your hat over the wall. JFK
Mhm.
told this story on the moon landing speech where he talked about his grandfather who grew up in Ireland. And he said his grandfather would walk home every day from school, and him and his buddies would come to these walls in Ireland and they would try to climb them, right? One day they came to a wall that was so high, they didn't think they could climb it. They thought it was impossible. And so what they did is they took their hats that their moms had knitted for them, and they knew they could not return home without these hats because their moms would kill them. So they took these hats and they threw them over the wall. So the only way they could return home is if they had the guts to climb the wall, retrieve the hat, and come home. They had to climb the wall. They forced themselves. They put themselves in a spot to where they had to make it work. So that's my recommendation for the people who want to get started. For the people who are at 50 to 100 and they want to scale, your team is the most important thing. I asked an 8-figure agency owner the other day, what was the most important thing that took you from 100K a month to $1 million a month? And he said, culture. Culture, the right team, the right people, and the right energy of the company. You need to get the right butts in the right seats and then make sure they're motivated and inspired and know where they're going. So your job now as the founder is to come up with a great vision and constantly remind the team, here's where we're going and here's why.
Mhm.
And then the right people will take care of that for you. Last but not least, if you want to exit your agency, man, I could do an entire thing about this. If you guys are interested, because I've learned a lot about this. So if you guys are interested, drop one last uno mas ribeye, and maybe we'll come back on and we'll talk about how to exit your agency. But you have to be out of it. It has to be able to run without you. You need. There's really like two things that buyers look for. There's two main things that buyers look for, and I heard Hermosi talk about this. The first is they want to see sustainability of revenue. That's why what we talked about is so important. You need retention. If there's not retention, the buyers are not going to buy the business. The second thing is you need to have a reasonable story of growth. So you need to be able to show here's how we grow, here's how we grew, and here's how we're expected to continue growing. If you have growth and if you have sustainability of revenue, you have an exitable agency, assuming it can run without you. You get those three things, and you can sell your agency. We could talk about that a whole lot deeper, but those are my initial thoughts.
I love it, my man. For those
Cool.
that haven't, followed you yet, where can they find you? What's your handle?
Yeah, Instagram is official Matt Shields. I just bought the username Shieldsy. So I don't think I have it yet, but official Matt Shields. Depending on when you're seeing this, it might be Shieldsy. But if you just look at Matt Shields, you'll see a profile picture with homeless looking dude like this. YouTube is, if you just look up Matt Shields SMMA, you should see it. And I also, yeah, those are two best places. Instagram, YouTube.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome, my man. Really
Cool.
appreciate your time. Thank you for coming out today.
100%.
And hopefully we'll have you on soon.
Can't wait, man. We got to have you in agency world. Let's get
Let's
it.
do it.
Cool. Appreciate you guys. My fellow glitches, my fellow steaks. Steak sounds weird, but all right. Cool. See you guys.
Later, bro. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. Really appreciate your time. Super glad that you got your questions answered. That you're able to really learn this new model. And once again, information is abundant. You don't lack the information. What you lack is the ability to take action. So you just need to do it. I want to bring you the best information so that I can root through all the weeds for you so that you guys don't have to do it, because I know that these people have proven systems And that is the idea behind Agency Domain, is we want to make sure that you guys have the right information in the right place, with the right people and the right network and the right community of people. That is why we created it, and that's Capital Club's mission as well. Once again, many of you will watch this, but very few of you will actually listen. Thank you so much, and subscribe to the new channel.